Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious!
Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we're here to discuss the latest breaking news that's about Rangers Football Club. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another Rangers rumour. But before we actually get into today's video, just a friendly reminder, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please consider doing so and I will shave the beard. If you do it, I'll get rid of this, okay? Help me, help you, help us all, you know what I'm saying? Without any further ado, let's just get into today's video then, shall we? 3, 2, 1. The main story in today's video, we will be discussing John Souttar to the Glasgow Rangers. That's right, we are once again linked with the man himself. Now, the name John Souttar has been linked with us many times. Now, apologies if I'm also pronouncing his name wrong. It's kind of what I do here on the channel. But John Souttar to Rangers has been happening for about 5-6 years now. And my head, by the way, when I actually looked at John Souttar, I thought he was 26, 27, 28. But then I went and checked. He is 22 years old. He's been playing in the top flight of Scottish football since he was 16. What were you doing when you were 16? Me, when I was 16, I was pretending I was a player in FIFA, making career modes and actually playing Scottish football that way. This kid was strolling it for Dundee United at that age. But all joking on that aside, let's actually break down the man now. I did mention that he's 22 years old. His contract for Hearts, by the way, is until 2022. So if we are to prize him away, it's going to cost a bit of moolah. Now, there's not any consistent fees. I've read about 7 or 8 the same articles, just with different numbers, all pitched and questioned and asked about John Souttar to Rangers. From what I've been able to find, it's between 1 million and 3 million. That's how much John Souttar would actually cost. Now, I'm sure your reaction is, what, £3 million for John Souttar? No thank you, no thanks. But you also have to remember that the way the transfer market has changed, and even especially in Scottish football, when you've got McKenna sitting there at valued at £8 million, 8 million. You've got Joe Worrell, who's been at our football club all season. We've seen the highs and lows of Joe Worrell's. He sits at a valuation of £10 million. 3 million? Bit of a steal these days. But let's not get caught up in the inflation argument or even his price tag, because let's be fair, all these news articles, all these clickbaity titles are just guessing and just firing out figures. Until we actually see the deal announced, if it will be announced, then we can reflect on the price. Let's actually just look at the player himself and seeing if Rangers should go out and sign him. Now, you might be asking yourself what kind of player he actually is, what's his biggest asset, why is Rangers even being linked? Me personally, I think it's because of the ball at his feet. Now, obviously, he's a centre-half. That should be pretty well known by now. But the ability to just drift forward with the ball, pick passing, the bit of composure on the ball shouldn't be understated, and that's his biggest attribute, if I'm honest. It's just getting the ball forward. He's good, you know what I mean? He's got pace and get stuck in. But for me personally, if I'm looking at this transfer and why Rangers would want to sign him, is the ability with the ball at his feet. It's something we've tried numerous times this season with Connor Goldson, who had earlier success in the season picking some passing out, but you can see he's not comfortable with the ball at his feet. We've tried it numerous times with Joe Worrell. I mean, last week against Hearts, absolutely strolled the game, tried to bring the ball forward, nearly gave them a goal, put them through on goal. He's done it in the Celtic game a couple of times as well. He's clearly been picked out, the two centre-halves, to be the one with the ball at his feet, because he's the better of a bad bunch, let's be fair, with the ball at his old tootsie. And to make my case in point, you have to go back to the first game after the winter break versus Kamara. We are cruising the game. We give it to Joe Worrell. He's bringing the ball forward. He dilly-dallies. It gets caught and it costs us. Clearly, that is a part of our playstyles, to play out from the back. We've just not got centre-backs that's comfortable with it. Joe Souttar would actually be perfectly suited to the Gerrard playstyle. So I can definitely see a need for John Souttar and where he would actually fit with the Glasgow Rangers and what role he would play. But what is the odds of it actually happening? As you know, if you've watched this channel for a long time, whenever we talk about the Rangers rumours, I've pretty much rubbished every single one. I'm saying there's nothing in this, like the Downing ones, just sort of blowing their own smoke. It's just newspapers just trying to find something to talk about, like me. However, this one took quite an interesting turn about a week ago when Hearts announced a former Bear, by the way, by the name of Craig Hockett, has signed with Hearts. Now, obviously being a Livingston captain, he's gone there to play games. He's been assured that he wouldn't have signed a pre-contract with a club to sit second fiddle to nobody. He's gone there. Christoph Berra's obviously the club captain. That is going to be their centre-back tandem next season, on. So he's kind of threw a spanner in the works. Now, that kind of leaves John Souttar with an opportunity to either battle down, knuckle down, and try and either wait for Christoph Berra to retire or move on, or just try and wrestle the starting spot away from those two. Or, if Rangers comes calling, would you rather step up to play for a club like the Glasgow Rangers, no disrespect to Hearts, and try and fight your way into that squad? Because he's clearly going to have to fight. Which one would he rather go for, Hearts or the Glasgow Rangers. Now again, I just want to confirm there's been nothing concrete from either the club or Hearts representatives saying that Rangers are even in for him or Souttar would even consider Glasgow Rangers. We're just reacting to the news that's been dropping in the last 24 to 48 hours. Speaking about recent stuff, I think this is the first time ever that I have done a Rangers rumour just after watching that man play. Literally, I watched him play in the second half versus Inverness Cali Thistle, ended up getting a goal which he took very well from a corner, and if I'm honest with you, he looked sharp all damn day. So this is the first time ever for a fresh reaction, and if I'm honest with you, he really impressed me in that semi-final. And another memory of watching John Souttar live, by the way, is when I watched him play against Rangers, where he ran by about 3 boys from inside his own half, comfortable once again with the ball, drifted by 3 Rangers players, ran right upfield and hit the bar for about 40 yards out. That is what the man's capable when he's on his actual game. But before I ask you guys whether we should sign him or we start looking at the competition for places, anything like that, let's actually reflect on what he's done so far this season overall, and let's dive into those tasty stats. The man has played 30 games as of the Inverness Cali Thistle game that just finished when I'm making this video. He has 2 assists to his name, and also thankfully because of the Inverness Cali Thistle game he has 1 goal to his name so far this season as well. Not too shabby, Alonso, John. Not too bad. And reflecting overall in his career, by the way, at 22 years old, he has played 182 games. He sits at 4 goals and 7 assists, which is even more impressive about that for racking up that many games at that age. Is how many games he's played in the top flight. He's played 148 games in the top flight of Scottish football by the age of 22, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is a man that's vastly experienced in the league, who's only going to get better and better and better. But let's just say we did go in for John. Do we need to bring him into the football club? Looking at it right now with the centre backs in the first team that's available, probably not this season, because we have 4 by the name of Nikola Katic, Connor Goldson, Joe Worrell and Gareth McCauley. But at the end of the season, 2 of them are going to be gone. Joe Worrell has made it clear that he wants to go back to Nottingham Forest, you know what I mean? That's his team. I've got nothing against that. That's completely fine. I'm sure the Shrewsbury fans are wishing that Greg Docherty would want to stay there, but he wants to come back home. Joe Worrell just wants to go back home. I've got nothing bad to say about the man. He's came here and he's tried his hardest. It's not always quite worked out, but the man's put himself in there, so I'm going to wish him the best going back to Nottingham Forest. And the other one's obviously going to be Gareth McCauley, who signed only a 1-year deal, and that obviously ends at the end of the season. And has he done enough to deserve a new contract? Is he even going to get another game before the end of the season? That's a no and no in my personal opinion. I'd be interested to see what you think about Gareth McCauley. Now, we don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. He could be a great leader for the younger players, but I don't see them giving him another year just to play sort of the background staff-esque, or would have done that with Clint Hill last season. We let him go because he couldn't play, and I'm pretty sure we'll be doing the same for Gareth McCauley. So at the end of the season, we only have 2 registered first-team centre-backs with the club. Now obviously we're going to be playing in the Europa League and we're going to have to try and qualify for European competitions, and we basically need to go now, so if we can try and get this deal wrapped up pretty damn quickly, that would be nice, because all we have is Connor Goldson and Nikola Katic. Now obviously we love them together and that's hopefully going to be the partnerships for years to come, but if we can add John Souttar in there to just make it at least a competition at the centre back so they don't get lazy or rest on their laurels, that for me would make us better as a football club, bringing in someone as good as that with as much experience as that, that's going to push either one of them all the way. So with all that being said, I am done and dusted for this week's player profile. It has been broken down. We've looked at his stats, we've looked at the competition for places, and also looked at the man himself and seen what kind of player he actually is. All that's left is for me and thee to get your thoughts and opinions now. You know a little bit more about John Souttar, or hopefully you do anyway. Let me know, do you think the Rangers should sign the man? And also, do you actually think it will happen? Do you believe this Rangers rumour? Me personally, if it's available, go and get him. I think it'd be a great competition for places. I think he fits what Steven Gerrard clearly wants to do, and again, it's strengthening depth. You look at a 22-year-old with nearly 150 games in the top flight of Scottish football. For me, it's an absolute no-brainer. That's bringing in someone who's only going to get better and whose value's only going to get higher and higher. But 2, do I actually think this will happen? Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I do not believe this will happen. I think Hearts will flog him somewhere down south, if they even want to get rid of him. You know what I mean? Scottish clubs seem to just hate themselves, like Scottish football just hates itself. They would rather sell down south for pennies than sell to a Scottish club for pounds. That's the kind of way it goes, especially when it's Rangers. I mean, look at the players over the last couple of years, with like Jamie Walker. Where is he now? Hearts have done a similar thing. I know we got Kyle Lafferty, but I just don't see them giving us John Souttar for a decent little price there. I'm sure they want him to go down south. So over to Twitter to hear from the people. That's got 1,287 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. 30% votes for no, but 70% of the people votes for yes. Finally, we get one. But let's actually hear what they've had to say. Billy Key writes in, if Rangers are looking to improve, should Rangers be looking at upgrades from within the SPFL? Not one of the players in that pool that have not been able to stop Celtic from rinsing them. Now, it's an interesting point, Billy, but what I would say about that is, look at Glen Kamara. Where did he come from? Dundee. What was the excitement there? And since he's came to the Glasgow Rangers, he's strolled it. I don't think you can always judge a player from where he's actually came from. Look at Alfredo Morelos. It's about what they can do when they've got the jersey on, if they can actually perform up to the badge. But I get your apprehension, mate. It's completely fair. True Blue 72 writes in, he's a decent player, there's no doubt, but would he start ahead of our current players? I don't think so. Could be another Andy Firth and be one for the future. I'm pretty sure Andy Firth was only brought in because we loaned out Robbie McCrory. I don't think we'll ever see Andy. Deaky Neil writes in, think it would be an excellent signing. Young, Scottish, quick and powerful, ideal to replace Worrell when he actually leaves. Ross Watson writes in, he wouldn't get ahead of Golton or Katic for me. I'd sign him as a replacement for Wallace. Yeah, there is. I thought I was going to say Worrell. He got me. Let's move on. Scott Young says, not a bad player, but not the quality. We need to win 55. Robert Law says, ball playing defender, something I would like to see at the club. Hopefully it does happen. He can excel here, and he's a brilliant replacement for Mr. Joe Worrell. And the last one we'll actually read out, just to make it fair, we'll scroll all the way up here, all the way down there, and we'll stop it right there. This one comes in from Jack Irvin. He says, Scott, Souttar is one of the best defenders in the league. He reads the game so well and is young enough to still learn a lot. He knows the league and is comfortable playing. I'd take him as long as the price was actually reasonable. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. Hopefully you've got involved. If you haven't, make sure you be doing so. And if you don't mind hitting that like button, again, I know I say it in every video, but it genuinely is so important for our channel's growth as well. So if you don't mind hitting that, that'd be absolutely tremendous. If you'd like to buy some charity football tickets, by the way, to watch the Scotland YouTubers versus the Falkirk coaches, the link for that is down in the description. Again, that's raising money for Sam H, which is obviously a mental health charity helping to prevent suicide prevention in Scotland. It's a very serious issue. So if you're free on June the 8th, if you want to come and watch some football, the links for that is down in the description. And also shout out to the legends on the Patreons account for helping support the channel. Once again, the links for that is down below. I've been CJ Over92. Thanks so much for watching, and bye.